Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday. I'm stoked to be with you. As always, it's your boy, Zach. That's me. So I am going to get right to it. I'm going to start with a little tune before I bring on my special guest that I'm very excited about. So this is a song that I finished writing exactly 1 minute ago. So this will actually be the first time I'm playing it all the way through. So I don't know. Here we go. This is gonna be a journey for all of us. All right, let me. It will require page turning. So sorry if that breaks the mood. Where do we start? Okay, here we Well, my heart makes no demands. Your wish is my command. What you say sounds like a plan. If I don't understand, 'cause I know I'm not this mind. It's just mine for a time. I have to leave it all behind to find out who I am. On that day, see that there's no you in me. Separation, just the dream. The whole's one with its parts. And on that day, I'll know that I am not alone. 'Cause you're my very own. And my home is in your heart. I'm not the earth, though I may resist. Your love, it will persist till nothing else exists. And on that day, I'm sure that I am not these senses. Your thoughts are only rented down these walls and fences. What do I need them for? Even if I fear, well, there's no need to fear. 'Cause everything's so clear. Love, sweet hidden miss. The words that I am using become so confusing. This language is worth losing. Sweet silent bliss. La 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 da da da. Cause home is where your heart is, where love's too big to harness. The illusion of the forest evaporates like steam. Cause love's the destination, the journey and the vision. But it requires patience to wake up from this dream. All right, that is the title of the song that I finished 5 minutes ago. So I hope you liked it. It was a journey for everybody. All right, and now for the wonderful moment that we've all been waiting for. At least I've really been waiting for it. I've been really excited. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Taylor Erin Schleith of the Red Venus.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm in my pod.
Yeah.
Creation Station. Ooh.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, thank you so much for joining me and for sharing your time and your energy. I'm really excited to spend the next half hour with you and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's sure to be fun.
Definitely, yeah. Um, so very cool. Do you want to start off by playing some music, or do you want to start off by just kind of telling us a little bit about you and your journey and all that stuff for anybody who might not be familiar?
Let me start off with a little bit of just some medicine. You know, it's not like a full song. It's because like we talked earlier, I'm trying to kind of break out of this conventional understanding about what a musician is and who we have to be and what we have to sound like and how our song structures have to be. And so I just call what I do making medicine. So here's just a little bit of medicine.
Awesome. All right, take it away, Taylor. Thank you.
You try all that you can for something you can hold on to. You try, do what you can, oh, you do. And you try all that you can for something you can hold on to. And you try and you do what you can. Gonna let that river run through. Gonna let that river run through. And you try all that you can for something you can hold on to. And you try and you do what you can. Oh yeah, let that river flow through. Oh, and you gotta let that river run through. Oh, and you gotta let that river run through. And you gotta let that river run through. And you try all that you can hold on to. And you try and you do what you can. Gotta let that river run through. 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 So come on, surrender to the river that carries you into. Surrender. Gotta let that river run through.
Damn, yeah. Yes. That's amazing. Yeah. That's super cool. And like I really liked how like before that, you're saying that it makes sense now, like after hearing that, like the music, like just as a medicine. It was as something that it sounds like it's something that's like really I don't know, that just does have that healing quality. And it's one of those things that I don't necessarily think people always think of that like consciously as like, oh, I'm jamming out to some tunes right now because I need to like heal in some way, or like I need that for my soul. But it's like but that's what it is, like when we are moved by music, right? I mean, and I very much get that from like what you're singing. And like I like how it has that kind of refrain repetitive vibe to it, because it gives it like a more meditative, like kind of spiritual place that it like takes you to, because you have to get lost in it instead of like getting caught up in like, oh, it's this and then this happens and this happens and it all adheres to a structure. It's just like, no, just get deeper into it instead of like going out into the wild or whatever, you know?
Yeah, because ultimately we're conditioned to think that our performance and our music is capital, is product. It has to have this structure so that we can sell it like this, so it's 3 minutes long. And you know, and that in itself is such a travesty, because if we look at all of these cultures, you know, if we look through time and space, we're kind of the only society that really does that. And yes, it's spilled out into other spaces, but most cultures have this like deep, primal, meditative, expressive freedom. And ours is seriously lacking in that. But yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head, where it's like you get lost in word and in sound. And those are formative, like so formative of our experience of life. Without name, without speech, without thought, which is a form of spoken word, but an internal form of spoken word. Without those things, we have nothing. Like we don't have a world we can understand and move through. It is our interface. So yeah, this meditation on, you try all that you can for something you can't hold on to, you know, and you try, but you just need to let the river run through. And like that came to me today, and I needed that. And yeah, and it's very much about like, cool, I'm reclaiming my time as an artist to help myself heal.
Yeah.
I'm reclaiming my time as an artist to have study of sound and music, rather than feeling like I need to produce. Instead, be with it, be with power, and like allow it to move me and help me, you know. Like I feel so full after that, because right, because it wasn't like exactly like I have to do this and then I have to do this and here's a bridge. Well,
the formula for the like moving experience of music. Like, where's the algorithm to feel like deep happiness from music? Like, you know, it's like that's kind of the mentality sometimes, right? Like,
and there's nothing wrong with that formula. I think it's a formula that works, and it gets you in, and you're excited for the chorus to come back around. You're excited for the hook. And that's great, you know, but I think to focus on it and say that all other music that doesn't go through that is invalid and doesn't deserve to be like heard in a large way is stupid. But to touch more on like music as medicine, because this is my like path as a musician. Yeah. You know, it's this is something anyone can do, and everyone should do.
Sure, yeah.
We all get a fucking mic and an amp and sing and just repeat things and tell our soul and our body that we're listening and that we're here. You know, and I think that it's so accessible, and it is truly medicine for all people in that way. You know, we don't have to be songstresses or songwriters to do this.
Sure. Yeah. And I think it's really cool too, that because it's like, because I mean, maybe touching back to like what you said a minute ago, how like it really is like a pretty modern thing, and it's pretty much just unique to our society that it is something that's like packaged and sold just because that's the thing that we do with everything, you know. But it's like, but really it's like it's not in the past, and in most cultures throughout time hasn't been like there are these set aside people that like, oh, I'm like this song. Like there are sometimes, but like a lot of times for many cultures it's just something that everybody does. It's like you just sing with your family, you sing with your friends. You're not doing it like, oh, I'm gonna go out on tour and like I'm gonna like go try to get famous and like do all this stuff. It's something that anybody can do and that they do. Just like you eat with your family, or, you know what I mean? Like you live under the same roof or whatever, is like, you're also just making music, like with your community. And like, it's not like a set aside, like, oh, this is the musician. Oh, I'm not a musician, I couldn't do that. It's like, dude, just sing. Like you can sing. Like you don't have to be like perfect and like, you know what I mean? Like this, like pitch perfect. It's almost like similar to like, people that like are on magazine covers where everything's like photoshopped and like, oh, that's what I'm supposed to look like. Same thing happens with music. It's no different. It's just like, oh, I'm supposed to sound perfect like that. Like I'm supposed to, and if I'm not, then I should just give up, but it's like, no, man, like it's music.
You know what's fucking crazy is I went to a show at Far Out, because they have those now and it's not safe, and I probably won't go back again. But like, I sat with someone who is supposedly this like genius composer, like just like a brilliant musician, and he was basically saying like, yeah, well, I haven't released any of my stuff and I probably won't, and but at least I'm playing music and I'm out and I'm a working musician. But at the same time, he's telling me that he doesn't play his art or put his art out there because he's so focused on it being like Justin Timberlake mix. And I'm like, dude, that's not real. That's not realistic.
Yeah, and you're never gonna get there.
No, and like, also, why would you want to? Because like the humanness of you is the beauty of music. Yeah. This comes from your soul and your heart, and you are creation itself, emulating the bigger creator. Why can't you see this? Yeah. Shaking him like, your art, like.
Yeah, so true.
And we have the misfortune of getting the really shitty side of technology, where we see people, they record themselves with all of these gadgets and doodahs, and maybe they've done it like 80 times, and then they put it out, the one that's the most perfect, or they go to a mixer or like a masterer, and they take all of the human out of you, and they take all of the human, like, you went a little flat there, let me just pop it back up.
Yeah.
And it's ruining our perception of what being a musician or an artist is, and we no longer seek to just create, but we seek perfection, and we seek to make it in the eyes of a colonialist, capitalized industry, and that in itself is an issue. It's like, you're not product, dude. You're not a product.
Yeah.
And I stress those two a lot, because colonialized, because it is like we've taken the primal sacred value of music out, and we did that in our European lineage. Even though we had incredible composers, we still didn't see the folk and the primal and the earth-based as sophisticated. So it didn't get airtime, right? But like, in other cultures, your music making time was so much more sacred and potent and important, because it was connected to your experience of culture, family, food, earth, spirit. So I think all that to say, we've lost that like primal connection to music that makes us want to do it and be heard, seen in a communal space.
Totally. Yeah, no, totally. That's beautiful. And it's cool. And it sounds like, obviously to some extent we haven't, because there are people like you out there that are like realizing that are like, no, hey, we got to get back to like, we get it back to the real deal here. We've like gotten away from something. And so like, so thank you for what you do. Cause like, it's awesome. On that.
Still.
Yeah. Well, on that note, do you want to give us a little bit more, or like a little?
Sure. I'm kind of like, do I give more like loopy medicine, or do I do some of my like personal Western structured song?
Sure. Yeah. Sure. Hey, I mean, up to you. I think they all have value in their own way. Like if it's from the heart, if it's your truth, it's like
that's the other thing, right? Is our the things we talk about in our songwriting and everything. Sure. that is shifting as well. I'm tired of hearing love songs. Tell me about your struggles and your strife and your strength. That's what I want to hear.
Hey, well, that can be a love song too. Like your struggles, you know what I mean? It depends what you mean by love, right? You know what I mean? The struggle, I think, is part of love. I mean,
it's how you say it, right? It's the poetic value of how you say it. Like I don't want to hear like, baby, let me touch that butt.
Yeah.
Like, I'm fine on that. I'm so glad, but for me, I'd like to hear, some more there.
Sure.
So in that vein, here is Medicine.
It's Baby Let Me Touch Your Butt by Dylan Schleith.
The audacity of music right now is kind of crazy, where people are on that level where they're just like, my ass. I go to the gym, my ass. And you're like, this is happening.
Yeah, this is okay. This is what the kids are into, I guess. All right.
We're throwing it out there.
So
in that vein, here's some of my poetry and some of my personal experience. This song is called Little Bird, and I wrote it a while back, and I only now in my life, as I really do inner child work, realize that this is a lullaby to the inner child and a song of safety and of trust. So I hope that comes through.
Sweet. Thank you, Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
Little bird, are you out here on your own? You can go when you want to, when you feel grown. I will never hold you down. Clip your wings, little bird. You are meant for freedom. You are meant for flight. And there's no more cages for you, little bird. And there's no more cages. Oh, you're free to go, little bird. And I promise that there's only open doors, little doors, open doors, little doors for you. Little bird, have you ever been into the world? They'll tell you it's dangerous, but I know you're strong, and I think I found a cure for the pain you withstand when you learn to own your body. The medicine's bitter, but it will make you true. No, and there's nobody who could shame you, or lame you, or tame you, or name you, or frame you, claim you, little bird. You're free to go, you'll never taste, you'll never flight. And there's no more cages, no more for you. There's no more cages, little bird. I promise that there's only little doors. I promise that there's only little doors. Only little doors, open doors, open. Only open doors, so go ahead and fly right through. Go ahead and fly And mother, father, brother, mother, and friend. Mother, sister, brother, father, lover, and friend. And mother, sister, brother, father, lover, and friend. I'm looking at you with all your little birds. Let them go, let them free, let them go. Let them go, let them free. Ooh, ooh,
Yeah. Yes. I love that one. Like, it's so good. I think I heard you play that at Dozen Street a while back, and I remember just like, I mean, this was probably like a year or two ago, and just being like, like the whole time. It's like I don't think I took a breath through the whole song. I was just listening. I was like, it's that's powerful, man. Taylor, that's beautiful. It's so good.
Medicine.
Yes, for real. And hey, and that's like a kind of a cool example of like of like I to me anyway, I got the sense of like getting a little bit of what you did with the first thing that you did today, where like you're giving that medicine and that healing and that essence of it, but also still like within that kind of structure or whatever of that could be like like a pop song or like something on the radio, but it's also like real in that like, but at least, and like, I don't know, so it's beautiful that you're able to like capture that and like do both, so that it's almost like, I mean, this, even with the name of the song is like the bird, it's almost like it's like even within that structure and what could be like a prison, it's like you're still like free within it because you don't put the cart before the horse. You're not like, all right, I'm going to make this structure and then I'm going to figure out how to put in like an essence of what is real in it. It's like, no. We're going to figure out what's real and then like just let it take shape. And like, if it needs to like whatever to, I don't know. Anyway.
And I think
Great.
this touches, I had something come to mind on the impulse to heal and the impulse to express these. Okay, as artists, we're giving these gifts, and these gifts are there for us to understand, transmute, express consciousness as a whole and creation as a whole, but also our personal experience of consciousness. And like that impulse to create also is an impulse to heal and to come to wholeness, to literally like make wholeness within us, because we've all felt it when we're on stage as musicians and we're like in the pocket and we're in the place and we're high and we're feeling whole and we're feeling connected to the people that we're playing to and playing with, and like that's unity. That is source flowing through you and showing you this wholeness. And I think as artists, it is our job to express all of this to help ourselves and others get more whole. And that's why it's medicine. Does that make sense?
Totally. Yeah. No, that's so true. And like, it's interesting though, because it's like, I find like, and actually I was listening to somebody talk about this earlier, and I've heard like this concept before, but just how like, kind of like the closer and the more that you live within like paradox, the more like the closer you are to like reality. And so what made me think of that is like when you are caught up in the music, what's so cool about it is you are closer to being like whole, and you are closer to being like, I don't know, at peace and like this like at like an arrival point, and yet you're in like flux the entire time, and everything's like ever new, and it's like happening super fast. I don't know if that makes sense, but I think it maybe connects to what you're saying about it being a very personal thing and a deeply like unifying thing. And to me, that's like the perfect spot for like a human being to be, you know what I mean? Where you're like kind of like, oh, I'm one with everything, you know, but you're not like, but you're also like limited. But that's like a beautiful thing. It's like, well, guess what? You know, if you were one with everything, you wouldn't simultaneously be able to experience limitations, which is actually a gift. Even though it seems like it's like, damn you limitations. Like, no.
Well, because those limitations are variations in consciousness, and those need to be like understood and expressed and explored and like and shared, and like that's the beauty of this like feeling of like of being here while source is like coming through you, and then you're here just like being a bridge, and then here's your community and your contribution, you know, and it's like I mean that's really it, right? It's like the job of the artist is to, as one of my favorite books called Musical Healing by Jane Tillman, I believe, Joyce Tillman, she talks about how like it's always been the job of the artist to do the shamanic plunge, to do like the deep work of like rummaging through the soul and rummaging through so much heartache and feeling, and like, you know, that's why a lot of us get fucked up in our lives, and you know, a lot of artists have issues because we're meant to do that like deep dive and then come up with medicine for our community, which is the role of the shaman, the bridge, the curandero, the wise person, the medicine person. And I really love that because it gives musicians another job rather than performance and being
just entertainment. Like,
like much more than that. And I wish that I'd shake it into you.
Well, no, well, and I love what you're doing with all that, because like so that reminds me too of like of another. You've been doing these like classes, these like voice classes, but they're not like, I guess, like conventional like Western voice classes of like, okay, everybody, we're gonna sing scales and we're gonna like, you know, do this and you're gonna sing for me. Like, I don't know if you want to like talk about that. I've done a couple of them now, and like I've loved them. Like that, like afterwards, I'm just like, yeah. Or like the next day I'll sing. Like I had like a jam session the next day after one of them, and I was like, whoa, like I've never, like I was like, oh, I guess I'll do some warm ups. I was a little like nervous. I was playing with some people I hadn't before, and then I was like, man, none of this is working. Like none of these work. And I'm like, I'm just gonna do what I did at Taylor's class yesterday. I'm just gonna like sing like a note, and I'm just gonna like go. And it was just like, wow, like I just feel so peaceful now. Like I don't care if I sing well or poorly after this. I'm just gonna do it. And then it went great. And anyway, but please talk about your classes, because it was,
thanks.
I really like them.
Thanks for telling me that, because I need to hear that, and I need to know that it's practical and like helpful in your life. So thank you. That makes me feel good.
Thank you.
But yeah, so yeah, like what you felt was your nervous system and your body and your soul, just like we talked about this, the entrainment of like coming into resonance, coming into harmony, and you're feeling yourself, come into harmony with yourself and your own voice, and this pillar of who you are and how you express to the world, right? So yeah, in class we explore that connection of how the voice and song and singing really just do so much more for us than we even know. And I come from like a background of like having voice lessons and then realizing what was actually happening inside of me, and then being like, oh, let me play with that. And when I stepped away from voice lessons and I just had embodied experiences of singing, that got me to this level of singing, because I stepped into a place of doing like energy work with it. And then that led me to like getting into primal singing and like vowels and like, what else can I do with this? And so yeah, in class we explore non-judgmental, decolonialized ways of looking at a voice. And yeah, I take from like the Nada Brahma yoga, tantra, primal, ancient singing styles. Yeah, we deep dive into all those things, and the key there is, yeah, to get you to open and hear yourself and love yourself. And then the key is also to help your nervous system to feel more at ease with this experience, because we have so many societal pressures and so much, you know, like we were talking earlier, so much like perfectionism, and you can't sing unless you're perfect. And we have all of that like coming at us, and we shut down, and it's a shame, because this is one of the most powerful tools we have. And so, yeah, classes that we're exploring together. I'm there with you doing the work, you know, myself at home, trying to heal. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's been awesome. Yeah, and I know I'm sure some folks would appreciate if maybe you could put a link in there or something after we're done into the comments, throw it through so people would know where to go. But I can speak from experience, people. It's great. It's a beautiful thing, because like there are other people there. Just it's like you're again, like we talked about earlier, you're exploring your own like uniqueness and your own voice, and like getting in touch with yourself. But at the same time, that's happening with other people, and it's like, so there's this sense of community, especially right now, where it's like you might not be able to hang out with people and jam with people like in the same ways as much and everything. And so like it's a really cool way to like connect with people in that way as well, in my experience. And so I would definitely encourage anyone who hasn't taken one of Taylor's classes yet. They're super cool, and they're on what, Tuesday nights? Is that still the case?
For now, Tuesday nights at 6:30 Texas time. If you go to at the Red Venus Instagram, I have my link tree up in my bio, and you can click in there and it'll lead you right to it.
Nice.
And yeah, it's all donation based too. And so I'm not going to turn you away, you know, like I want you there. Yeah, it's been good. It's been fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, Taylor, do you want to maybe do like one more little musical thing, or?
I do, but I have to pee real bad. So I'm gonna go back real quick.
All right. I'll speaking of the entertainment, I'll entertain while you're away. No, well, I don't know. I'll jam on a little something. We got do it all little folk music. Freight train, carry me home. Freight train, carry me home. Please don't tell them we're out. I'm on you won't know until I've gone. When I die low. Yeah, she's back, ladies and gentlemen. That's your intermission music.
I've tried so much. Also, your first song was lovely for being written in like a half hour.
Thanks,
Wow, I can't do that. But yes, I drank a bunch of tea and it caught up with me. So
yeah, I feel you.
I was like.
It was like, okay, this is fun, but for some reason I'm like, why is I slowly getting incredibly anxious?
Okay, so on the topic of freedom, this one is called Technicolor, and I wrote it in like a weird initiatory time, but it's it's like shedding bindings and seeing yourself as the radiant, variating, beautiful creature you are. And and then just shaking off all that shit. So
awesome.
woman on my knee, woman on my knee, oh my knee, woman on my knee, woman on my knee, oh my, woman on my knee, woman on my knee, woman on my knee, woman 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 on me. This pain is the separation from home. The forging of life is secret, it's birth and home and home and home. Stand like a mountain vine, offer your name or right. Dance in your freedom and fight. Oh, that naked as you come, you rise. Naked as the day you were born and you first took your flesh and your vines. Naked as you come, you rise. See the world in technicolor. See the red in technicolor. You are never alone. The finite being sheltered in sound beyond it, be humbled. Your blood is your throne, not a death nor a lie. Somewhere is bridges, somewhere is high, underneath the mud and burning sky. Oh, naked as you come, you rise. Oh, naked as the day that you were born and you first took to your flesh and bones. And naked as you come, you will rise. See the world in technicolor. See a red and technicolor. Woman, woman, to your flesh and to your mind, naked as you come, you rise. See. As you come, you rise. Naked is the day that you were born and you first took to your flesh and bones. Naked, oh naked, as you come to the world and take I see your breath and take me color.
Dang. Thank you, Taylor. Thank you for all of that. For real. Thank you so much. been super beautiful. I'm super glad that you joined me for this and like shared your time with me and your energy, and like then thank everybody out there for for tuning in and everything. I think this has been a special little episode here. I'm really glad to have you on. I hope we can do this again, because this is super fun. Yeah, this is cool, and I'll definitely be checking out what are your classes again. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I wanna thank you. This is the first time I've performed since like January, and I literally gave up music this year, and so this is my first time back doing it, and
I love it. Yeah, I'm so glad that you do, because like I mean, you just have a beautiful gift, and like I think it's so like I'm just have a lot of gratitude for you sharing that with me and with the world and everything. I mean, it's awesome. So like keep.
Yeah.
I don't know. Keep on trucking, girl.
Thank you for making this space and this community for us.
Of course, yeah. Any time. Pass the word along to people, and we'll keep on growing this love train. Love train. Very sweet. Well, thanks again, and make sure everybody check out Taylor's class, because it's super great. I know I will be there again soon enough. So Tuesday nights, for now, Tuesday nights 6:30 Central. Maybe we can get a link in there for the people, and we'll make it happen.
At the Red Venus is probably the best place to do it on
the Red Venus.
Instagram. So yeah.
Very sweet. All right. Well, thank you so much, Taylor. So toodaloo. You have a wonderful night. Everybody out there, have a wonderful night, and we shall see you next time. Much love. Until next Sunday. Until next time. Toodaloo. Goodbye.